Hi everyone, Sandra Duran Wilson here this week with another Mixed Media Soul Sparks. This week I want to share with you how to make your own stencils, or in a way to customize stencils that you already have. So it's kind of an idea of layering stencils, but what we're going to do today is we're going to use hot glue guns to make stencils. And I've seen this out there before, so this is not anything brand new, but I want to share with you how I use them in applying the paint and overlapping them. So it's more than just making it. But let me show you what I have going on here. I have one of these non-stick craft mats, but you don't need that. You can just use cooking parchment paper, and I have that here also. When you, let's see if I get this out. If you're using the parchment paper, you want to have enough of a piece to flip it over, because we're going to flatten that stencil out. I'll just show you a couple that I already made. And these are like kind of doodle stencils. But you're going to notice that there are some very fine threads and some thicker ones. This is with the thicker one. My little glue gun is dripping over here. So this is the, yeah, fun. This is the fine tip. Precision Pro, it's called. And then this is a regular one. So it's a bigger tip. And let's just go ahead and get started. I've got these warmed up. I'm going to move this out of the way and do it on here so it's easier for you to see. And I've got another piece ready. So let's go ahead and just, this is kind of, I'm priming the pump, so to speak. You can make it thick, and you can make it really thin. Just let me get this in here. There we go. Now, if you wanted to make a particular pattern, you could draw that pattern on your paper, on your parchment paper, and follow that. I'm just going to make a variety of kind of loopy shapes here. It's a real technical term, loopy shapes. And just like with any stencil, you need to have pieces connecting. But I want to have some bigger openings too, not just a lot of small ones. Okay. Now while that is still warm, that's where I'm going to take the parchment paper, put it over the top. Where's my book? A good use for differential equations in calculus. Let's kind of weight this down. And what that does, I got to give this a second to cool off, is it's going to flatten the edge or the surface of it. So when you go to put it onto your painting or your paper to stencil, it will be connecting with the surface. So let's see if I can get this peeled off here. It's going to take a little while, huh? Yeah. So now when I flip it over, this is what I want you to see, is that how this, the back side of it, where I pressed it down, is now quite smooth. So when I put it onto the surface, then I'm not going to get that kind of creeping paint underneath. Now I'm going to do a similar thing using the large, and you're going to see a difference here. But even this I can control by the speed that I move the stencil. See how it got very thin there? I didn't catch it there. But what if I wanted it thicker, a thicker line? That's when I would go slower. And I can even go kind of back and forth. Again, I'm going to take the parchment paper. It stays warm for a while, but what if you forgot to do this? You could try using a heat gun or a hair dryer, warming it up again, and then doing this. And you could do a combination of the two. However, I think by the way you can control the, oops, that came apart there. By the way you can control how thick or thin it is, you don't need to use both of them. What I do want to show you is how to add it to, say, this is just a piece of packaging material, cardboard. As soon as I can get this off, I'm going to show you a couple of options. Go. So now we've got it smooth on this back side. So one of the things I could do if I wanted to create a basic shape is I could just lay this over this packaging and then use my, well, let's just go ahead and show you. And I'm going to talk about paint colors and application in a minute, but first I just want to show you this one. It's funny, I just picked out purple paint, which is the same as this paper. It's going to match it. This is just a cosmetic sponge, and I'm just tapping, tapping, tapping. And now I pick both up. And you see how you can get this really nice design. You could then cut this out, add it into your painting. You could do this directly onto your painting or your book, however you want to use it. But that's one way to do it. You could also just make this shape directly onto the cardboard because it's going to stick. So let's say I wanted to get some really fine lines that might be difficult to kind of peel off. This may be why I want to do this. I've got to find another little. Okay. So then, again, press it down. It seems small enough. I'm just going to use my hand. See what happens when you don't give it time to cool off? It's all sticky. Let's see if we can do it this way. Nope. You got to wait. That'll give me time to say what I wanted to say about the paint. Now here, this is very dark. This is the Dioxazine Purple on top of the white paper. I'm going to show you a painting where I've been working on building up these layers of stencils. And here is this one. I've done 2 layers using this stencil and this stencil. Now I'm going to come back on top of this and do what I call an offset stencil. And then I'm going to show you one other thing, kind of how we did with the paper, which is still hiding under here. Let me get that out. Are you ready? Yeah. I think I just put the other stencil on top. This didn't seem to work so great. Maybe I just didn't give it enough time. But let's just try it since we have everything right here. There we go. Quite different with the larger amount. Larger amount meaning the thicker glue. So just another possibility. This is what I was talking about with making a stencil your own. So this is a stencil from Stencil Girl. And I'm going to come down here with, let's use this one. And I want to look at a color that's going to show up here on top of this red. So you might need to add white to your color. And if I want to use this teal, there we go. I'm going to add white to it to make it more opaque. Of course, it's going to change the color, but that's okay. I wanted a lighter color. So you might want to look at opacity. The purple is so dark that it would cover up over that red. I'm going to put another one over here, checking which side I want to use, this side. And this way, yeah. Let's just get a new sponge. See how I load this up? Okay, so I'm going to hold everything into place. You could tape things, which might make it a lot easier. And I'm using the edge of the stencil, kind of how I did with that cutout paper. Just going to go over here. Not going to do the whole thing, just give you an idea. Well, I guess I am going to do the whole thing. Now, when I take all of this off, I have a different kind of pattern than if I would have just used this. So these are all possibilities. Now when I come back over on top of here, what if I wanted to try this? Again, find my side that's down there. Did I lose my purple sponge? Here it is. It's not showing up quite as well. Let me get a different area. Let's try this one. And we're going to go directly on top of that with a different color. This is just another way to create some unusual stencils. I could even take this one and then kind of offset it onto there. But I'm going to continue to build up more layers, waiting for this to dry before I go back in. And I'll show you the finished piece. But you can create any kind of stencil you want using the hot glue gun. So I just wanted to let you know that the Mixed Media Soul Sparks is going to be transitioning to a subscription service. So if you'd like to find out more, this is going to start at the beginning of the year. Check on the address and the links below and find out more about it. Thanks for joining me this week. See you next week. Join the community and share your creations on social. Use the hashtag MixedMediaSoulSparks. I look forward to seeing your comments in the comment section.